Welcome to my channel. I'm Cliff Wagner. I'm glad you're here. This is my opportunity to share my story about how I went from 0 subscribers to 1,000 subscribers in about 10 months. I want to start this by saying thank you for everyone who subscribed and joined me on this journey. I really appreciate your support of my channel. I appreciate you subscribing, and I appreciate all the positive feedback. You know, when you're just starting out on something new, there's a lot of uncertainty. And just getting started on this kind of journey isn't easy. Like I said, I went from 0 to 1,000 subscribers in about 10 months. But most of that activity, most of my subscriber activity occurred from month 7 through 10. The first several months were just a struggle. And in fact, I would say that the first 100 subscribers are the biggest struggle that you're going to encounter in your journey. That was certainly the case for me. For me, the first 100 subscribers seemed so hard, it almost seemed like asking people for a kidney. But you have to grow, so you have to ask. So today I'm going to walk you through some strategies and tactics that I used to go from 0 to 1,000 subscribers in 10 months. And hopefully I can share something that's useful to you. Okay, I've been really excited to shoot this video because it seems like I've been working on this for so long, but in fact, 10 months really isn't that long. We put in the work, and finally on April 6th of 2023, we hit 1,000 subscribers. I know there are some people who put out a few videos and have one that goes viral, and within just a few days, they hit 1,000 subscribers and they hit their watch hour requirement within just a few days or weeks. For some people, it can go very fast, but those people are the exception. They're not the rule. I think I've reviewed the videos of hundreds of creators on YouTube who've hit 1,000 subscribers, and I observed that there are common experiences or patterns that each of them have. Most of them regularly put out one video a week, and almost all of us are guilty of missing putting out a video somewhere along the line. And that was definitely my experience also. Here's the thing to know. Some of the most successful people on YouTube today struggled hard to hit 1,000 subscribers. The struggle is real, and that struggle should make you a better creator. So I launched my first YouTube video on June 19th of 2022 after a trip to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. And of course, I'd been watching other YouTube videos of other creators for months before I took my trip and got my start creating videos on my channel. Although I had some background in communications and the use of social media for political campaigns and elections, I certainly was not a pro, and I had a lot to learn. I took advantage of this trip to Mexico with my friends to pick up a GoPro and some associated gear so that I could collect up enough video content to produce 3 or 4 videos. That was my goal. And those videos would highlight different aspects of our trip. I love to travel, and one of the themes of my channel is travel, military topics, and tech, and anywhere those things intersect. So my goal was just to get started, make the leap, and put together as rapidly as I could 3 or 4 videos to get posted as quickly as possible. And that's just what I did. And at that point, on social media, I had about 2,000 Facebook friends. And so I reached out to those Facebook friends that I felt I could make an immediate appeal to and say, hey pal, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Here's a link to a video. Now it took some time for me to set my own concerns and fears of embarrassment aside and approach my friends with a request for them to subscribe. But that's something that I had to get over fast, and I did. But this was never an exercise in vanity for me. And so I went to work on social media, promoting my channel, building out new videos, and step by step began to see growth. But it was slow. My video content grew, and so did my subscribership, slowly. So I had launched my first set of videos. There was about 4 of them, and at the end of my first 30 days, I think I had reached about 15 subscribers. And that's not a lot, but I will tell you this, and I think every creator will tell you that every single subscriber is a small victory. And when we lose a subscriber, for just a second, we panic, and then we recover. But in all seriousness, I knew it was going to take work. And as I reviewed other people's channels, I became more and more convinced that if they could hit 1,000 subscribers and beyond, so could I. As I said before, the road to my first 100 subscribers was long and grueling, but I think it was right around the 6 or 7 month mark that things really began to pick up for me on my channel. It was about then that I hit the 500 subscriber mark, and things really took off after that. So again, on April 6th of this year, I hit 1,000 subscribers, and within 30 days of hitting that mark, I picked up an additional 450 new subscribers. So the journey to 2,000 is moving along pretty fast. I think this kind of growth is more common than not. For those who follow the basic rules of consistently publishing new videos weekly and actively work to improve what they're doing. When a channel gets to somewhere between 40 and 50 videos, they should be putting out better quality content in a much more targeted way. And we'll get into targeting here in just a minute. That consistent, persistent effort is rewarded by viewers and subscribers, and rewarded by the YouTube algorithm, which leverages views and leads to yet more subscribers. So you might be asking, what did I do and how did I do it? For this stage of my journey, I focused on 7 strategies. And none of these strategies were mine. I proudly borrowed all of them. Those 7 strategies are training, leveraging, analysis, targeting, structuring and sequencing, answering specific questions, and refining. On the subject of training, the first thing that I did was watch a ton of videos by Think Media to get as much information about the fundamentals as I could. Think Media channel on YouTube is a huge resource. They have a team of professionals who are happy to help you as a new creator shape your channel for success. The next strategy was leveraging. As I said before, I already had a Facebook listing of some 2,000 friends, and I knew that as a matter of just basic statistics, that there were some number of those Facebook friends who would just sign up as subscribers because I asked. Others would take more work and probably more than one ask. I set out to be systematic about it and posted many of my videos to my Facebook page with a little bit of narrative explaining it and putting it into context. That way, when I asked Facebook friends to consider subscribing, it wasn't a completely foreign concept. I had already introduced them to what I was doing. The other leveraging strategy that I implemented on Facebook was to join certain groups. Facebook has to have tens of thousands of groups in a variety of subject areas. Because I own a timeshare with a specific vacation company, I joined the timeshare owners for that particular Facebook group. Because all of the reviews that I had checked out online about the resort that I was going to with my friends in Cabo San Lucas were not great, I felt I was in a great position to do my own review as a vacation owner that would appeal to other vacation owners in the Facebook group. That gave me access to over 20,000 potential subscribers in that group alone. I also joined several military space available travel Facebook groups. Some of those have nearly 100,000 subscribers, and I was able to generate a lot of interest by doing tutorials specifically oriented and targeted for these Facebook groups. Leveraging my content on social media helped me grow a lot. The next thing I did was a lot of analysis, and by that I mean I watched a lot of other YouTubers on the platform. I took a look at successful YouTubers who had between 5 and 10,000 subscribers and paid close attention to the things that they were doing. I listened close to what they shared about how they got their start. I looked at their channel as well as their content and tried to figure out those things that they were doing right and what was working for them, because there's no need to reinvent the wheel. I knew that if they were doing something and it was working, there was every reason I could try it and it could work for me. It was not my goal to copy them exactly, but it makes sense that if somebody's doing something that's working, you might want to take a careful look at it and see whether you can implement that in your own plan and strategy. So I would take a look at people like Alexis Eldridge, an army-oriented channel, Christopher Chaos, as well as Ryan Macbeth, and some other creators who were also in the military topic niche. Of course, Alexis Eldridge isn't in that niche, but she's being successful, and I want to follow successful people. I would look at them, I'd go into their video section, and I would sort by the most popular video, and then I would look at those videos and see what they're doing right and what I could duplicate. What did their thumbnails look like? What subjects were they talking about? What was the topic of the YouTube video? As well as what was the title they used? These were all of the things that I knew I had to learn and improve on. So I made a study of those things, and adjusted my approach so that those elements were refined in my own YouTube videos. Again, if these strategies were working for them, there's every reason they would work for me. They did. So next, let's talk about targeting. In order to dial in my targeting, I narrowed down my topics to 3 areas. And you guys may have noticed that now I'm only talking about travel, military topics, and technology, and anywhere those 3 intersect. I know someone might say, wait, this video falls outside of those topics. And I would say YouTube and its algorithm falls squarely into the technology column, baby. And if I can help anyone achieve their goals on this platform, then it's been worth it. Now back to the subject of targeting. People who know a lot more about success on YouTube will talk about zeroing in and identifying who your avatars are. And I always thought that was a strange term, avatars. It just means your target audience and knowing who they are and what content you can produce based on your own unique experience. And that will allow you to gain subscribers and build a community. I think it's critical that we each identify not only where our interests are, but where our strengths are based on our own unique life experiences. Those are the things that you can speak to with authority. Those are the things that people will stop and listen to you about. For me, my interests and my expertise fell into the area of travel, military topics, and technology. And I know that talking about those things puts me in a better position to attract viewers, grow subscribers, and make videos about things that I know. Okay, let's talk about structuring and sequencing. I noticed that each of the creators that I was following had channels getting subscriber traction, were thinking beyond the creation of a single video. Instead, they were thinking about producing a sequence of related videos, often on the same exact topic, one that built upon the other. So the first 1 or 2 videos in their sequence would lay the foundation, and the third video in the sequence would refer back to either the first or second video, with a drop-down card built in that would refer to a relevant bit of information that would help the viewer gain more context. It was an invitation for the viewer to get more relevant information and effectively kept them on the channel within that video sequence. And that is smart sequencing. So that's an idea I was happy to borrow. The purpose of this deliberate video sequencing was to keep viewers engaged and to keep them on your channel, to view multiple videos or an entire playlist. If you're not using playlists, start using playlists. I also learned how to structure my end screens to keep viewers on my channel. Also, an effective strategy that I learned was to use a series of videos. That would be a series of related videos on a subject. An example of a series that I did was what I called Space A Boot Camp, and that deals with military space available travel. If you don't know what that is, check out my videos on the subject. You can click right here, check it out. It was a 4-video series giving viewers a step-by-step overview of the process and helping them to learn how to be successful. I also leveraged that series by featuring those videos on the Military Space A Facebook groups. The bottom line is sequenced related videos done in a series get traction, they get subscribers. Let's talk about the next strategy of answering specific questions. As you're planning out your video ideas and topics and organizing them into a production schedule with dates and timelines, it's very useful to focus on videos that allow you to answer specific questions. And as we discussed before, oftentimes these videos can be structured in a sequential way that build one upon the other. I also made a point to watch certain Facebook groups and watch for certain recurring questions, and those became subjects of my videos, answering those very questions. And often because those very questions are recurring questions, that is to say they pop up again and again on some of these Facebook groups, it's great to have a ready-made video to be able to pop into the discussion and answer those questions. And that will drive viewers and drive subscriptions to your channel. Nowadays, other members of those same Facebook groups are posting my videos in response to other people's questions on those Facebook groups. They're doing me a big favor in driving views to my channel. I appreciate it a lot. Again, as we know, Facebook has tens of thousands of Facebook groups, and this is a great place for any YouTuber to test the process of answering specific questions and to use the Facebook platform and other social media to drive subscribers to your channel. Answering specific questions was great advice for me that I got from Think Media, and I think it can work for you too. Now let's talk a little bit about refining our process. This is the next strategy, refining. Now I have not broken the code on the YouTube algorithm, but I do know there are certain fundamentals that have helped shape my channel for success so far. As I make videos, I'm always trying to refine and improve the quality of my production, the quality of my audio and presentation. There are strategies for keeping viewers' attention, strategies for engagement, like asking viewers for comments about a particular question or to register their opinion. It's important to know when and where within your video to invite viewers to like and subscribe to your channel. Some of us new creators are reluctant to make that ask. Some don't ask at all. I like to put a graphic call to action or subscribe graphic towards the front of my video. And then I'll usually wrap up with a verbal invitation at the end of the video and include a graphic so that it all makes sense. People who are engaged with your channel and appreciate your content, and if you're bringing value, they're not going to be off-put or offended by your invitation for them to like and subscribe to your channel. They're not going to be upset because you extended an invitation for them to subscribe. They either will or they won't. And let's face it, in a lot of cases, they don't even know that it will benefit you unless you tell them. But if they're not asked, if you don't invite them, then they probably won't subscribe. Another critical aspect of refining your process has to do with titles, thumbnails, and descriptions. Still talking about refinement. Let's talk about titles, thumbnails, and descriptions. One of the important things that I've started to do as I started to get traction was to create more click-worthy thumbnails. This is critical. It's not clickbait, it's click-worthy. There are a couple of strategies that I'm going to recommend. First, if you don't already use Canva, check it out. It'll be worth your time. Canva is a web-based graphic art program that even without a subscription, you can get a ton of use out of. But with a subscription, you get to access a ton of templates as well as their stock image gallery. They have tons of thumbnail templates that you can use to get started. Some of those templates are perfect as is, and others will just be a great place for you to start. Their thumbnails are already sized to perfectly fit YouTube. So it's basically a plug-and-play solution for creators. My basic rule with thumbnails is that less is more. By that I mean you have to resist using too much text in your thumbnail. Keep it down to about 2 or 3 words that are sized to be very readable. On the subject of font, readability trumps all other considerations. Remember, the vast majority of YouTube viewers are scrolling through YouTube looking at thumbnails on a smartphone. That's not a lot of surface area. And for some of us older viewers, that can be hard to see. What they can see and read on your thumbnail is minimal. Don't make it unnecessarily difficult for them. Keep it easy and keep it basic. Now, where you need to not skimp on words is in your title and in your description. Like a lot of other YouTubers, I like to use all caps in my title for the first sentence, then a separator, and then I change to lowercase. And finally, you need to draft a smart description that uses as many keywords as you can possibly come up with. Don't neglect this important area. So those are the 7 strategies that I used, and if they worked for me, I believe they can work for you. But I want to leave you a bonus, and that is to say I want to reiterate how important it is for you to engage your viewers. As you go through your process of planning, preparing, and writing your videos, that's the time to begin thinking about questions that you can ask your viewers that will result in engagement. Don't wait until you're recording your video to think of something off the top of your head. You've got to be more deliberate and more strategic about the questions that you'll ask for engagement of your viewers. And I think it just makes sense that people who are receptive to your invitation to comment and to engage are also likely to be receptive to your invitation to like and subscribe to your channel. I've had a number of experiences where I've replied to a comment from a viewer, and that turned into a subscription because for some reason they were surprised that I'd actually take the time to reply. Remember, ask for engagement and ask for subscriptions. So there you have it. This is how I went from 0 to 1,000 subscribers in 10 months. And if I can do it, I guarantee you, you can do it. As I've learned to make better content and I've refined my processes, the whole thing gets easier and I've become better. I know that I'm just getting started, but I now have my site set on 5,000 subscribers and I'm looking forward to getting there with your help. Once again, thank you for checking out this video. If you're a subscriber and part of our team, we're so glad that you're here. This is my 1,000 subscriber story, and I'll see you in the next video.